Hi everybody, how's it going today? So today is January 16th, it's about 1 p.m. and I wanted to do a video on on the market cycle in general, and just to show people that these things are very common in the market, and in order for progression to be made, corrections like this must be made as well. Think of stocks as something that needs to, when it goes up and it runs very fast, it needs to take a step back a little bit, stop, relax, and catch its breath before it can run again. So this is what it is doing in general. And a lot of the coins are following the tune of Bitcoin. And that's why we are seeing some incredibly unseen regions before for technical indicators. So it's rare to see things in these types of oversold conditions, but that's because all these altcoins are in limbo because Bitcoin is still figuring it out. Bitcoin, you got to keep in mind, right? It's one of the most traded against pairs of currency, right? So because of that, it obviously has a massive effect on the market capitalization and on the value of each coin itself. So Bitcoin, it whistles, and every other coin follows the tune of it. And a lot of things can happen, right? For example, when Bitcoin rises, altcoins rise with it, especially when all altcoins are at an all-time low, or not an all-time low, but at a very low point. So once again, when Bitcoin is very low and altcoins are low as well, there's a good chance that Bitcoin going up will also raise the market cap as well. Or not raise the market cap, but it'll raise the value of each coin as well. And that happens often. And another case, for example, is that when Bitcoin goes up, right? Let's say all coins are at a generally neutral point, right? Where they're not on an impulse move up with Bitcoin. So if they were in a neutral zone, sometimes when Bitcoin rallies, because those altcoins are traded against the Bitcoin pair, right? When Bitcoin starts to do a massive rally, sometimes what can happen is people will sell off their altcoins so they can have Bitcoin pairs, right? So when you have Bitcoin, then you're going with the rally, you're joining in on them with them, right? And then you can always cash out your Bitcoin later and then maybe put it back into the altcoin market. And another time is, of course, when all altcoins and Bitcoin at an all-time high, usually when Bitcoin falls, it's going to drag it down with it as well. So there's a lot of different circumstances of how Bitcoin can affect your altcoins. And right now, I think it's a really good time this year to be keeping an eye on all of your coins in general, because it could be a time where you could be making literally 100% gains on your coins. Now, before we get started, I want to talk about Elliott Wave and just the market cycle in general for this specific theory. Next video, I plan to get into Dow theory. So if you guys haven't brushed up on that yet, just the market cycles of Dow theory, I'll be talking a little bit more, especially with Ripple, because yeah, that was an interesting phase, put it that way. So for Elliott Wave, we have 5 motive waves up going like this in a market cycle, okay? And I'm just going to draw it more slanted. Not because I'm Asian, okay, guys? But because it needs to be more sloped, more to see. So we're going like this right here. And now we're going to take our favorite tool here. Do you guys know what the favorite tool is? It's called Fibonacci, Fibonacci, Fibonacci. We're going to take our Fibonacci tool, going like this, like that, okay, guys? Man, I swear, guys, if, like, I really regret not going on the Canadian Idol when they were here in Canada. Like, I think that I could have made a career out of that as well. Like, you guys have heard me sing and rap before. I could totally make it in that industry as well. So we're going to take our Fibonacci right here. Waves 2 retracement is only for wave 1. That needs to be clear and understood. Wave 3's retracement is only for wave 4. Or sorry, wave 4's retracement is only for wave 3. But now, wave 5's retracement makes a massive correction of the entire 5-wave structure. And that can come in many different ways. We'll just draw a simple zigzag. Just a simple zigzag. Like that. That's one way, right? Zigzag like that. And you guys might also know a flag as well, where, a flag could be made like that or something, we'll see. And you guys see this all the time as well. And this is called a flag consolidation, right? Like that, where you have 5 touches. So the 5 touches would be right here. This would be 1 basically. Or sorry. Yeah, that's 1. That's 2. That's 3. That's 4. And the 5 touches right here. And then you guys see it, most people, as a flag consolidation, right? Sometimes we see it like that or something. But we usually don't see flag consolidations that often in these types of, in the 5th wave. We usually see a flag consolidation and usually a 3rd wave's correction. So the 4th wave. And the reason why we see it mainly there is because the 3rd wave is the most likely wave to do an impulse, a huge motive impulse wave up, because wave 3 is often the strongest and it's often the longest, right? So that's why we see it often in wave 3. In wave 3's consolidation. So for wave 4. So right now, most of the coins that we see are making some sort of corrective pattern like this, okay? Just isolating it to where we see right now. It's figuring it out. Bitcoin is figuring out right now whether it wants to do this type of pattern, okay? Like that kind of pattern. Whether it wants to do, say, this kind of pattern. Or maybe it wants to make a channel coming down like this instead. It's figuring that out right now. And because of this, all of the altcoins, they're dying, guys. They are dying right now. And this is why we also need to take extra caution and be very diligent with reviewing Bitcoin and what it does. And we have to remember that trading requires a lot of work. You gotta do the homework. At the end of every night, I actually do a lot of studying now. Like I follow up on the coins that I'm following to see where the best possible entries are. It's kind of like a nightly review. And then in the mornings when I get up as well, whatever time it is, I spend about half an hour reviewing as well, just to see where Bitcoin is in the cycle right now. Because let's face it, if there's a very bearish scenario, which there kind of is right now for Bitcoin, or there was when I made the video, but now we've rebounded $600. So now there's actually some support and some hope. So Bitcoin is very bearish right now, and it's making me focus on my altcoins because I do think that there's a chance for some massive gains. Now I want to show you guys Ripple as well, okay? So just generally speaking, okay guys, generally speaking right now, most coins are in this phase right now. They have either completed, I'm going to draw it in a blue line. Most coins are either in this phase where they have completed 1, 2, 3, and now they're working on this zone right there, the correction. Okay? They're basically working on this one right there, the 4th wave correction of the market cycle, where 1 was the primary. We're talking about the primary wave, all of it, okay guys? We're talking about all of the primary waves, the grand cycle. So some are right here, right now, in this cycle. Some, like Neo, just finished this right here. Just finished this part right here. Okay? Bitcoin is over here right now. Bitcoin has actually finished an entire market cycle already and is doing a correction of the entire wave, all 5 right now. So this is the scary thing about it. This is the first time, guys. We're going to go to a weekly one, okay? We're going to go to a weekly chart first of all. This is the first time in the history of Bitcoin, okay, since, like, looking at it on this chart here right now, where we have peaked up to this high of a high. And right now we are at the point where there's only a little bit of saving grace left for us to still stay bullish. The only way for Bitcoin to stay bullish is if we somehow do this. This does not go to the negative histogram, okay? That cannot go to the negative histogram. It has to curve up. In the weeks of Bitcoin and all that we have ever been through, The only time that we've ever been in a bearish market really was when it was not first released, but in 2014, when it's to the negative side. And the only time that we've ever been in the negative side of histograms since then has been 2016. And right now, we are so close to getting to the negative side of the histogram on Bitcoin. Unless we curve up like this, okay? Where this one just keeps going upwards. Like that. And this line might make a small dip like that, and then eventually it curves down. That's the only way for us to stay bullish. So therefore, Bitcoin needs to bounce drastically in the next few hours to days in order for us to stay bullish. Or else, every single coin is going to do a massive extended correction. Now let's take a look at a coin like Ripple in general, okay? We're going to take a look at some of the heavy hitters in the market right now that are reaching some ridiculous market caps relative to where they were a few months ago. Now, you guys shouldn't be too surprised, okay? We're talking about a coin that has gone, guys. Like, come on, be realistic here. We're talking about a coin that has gone from a quarter, guys, to an all-time high of $3.30. Do you guys really think that that is sustainable? Think about the market cap as well, right? Bitcoin is now incredibly high in the market, in the coin market cap. Let's take a look at it. I'm just pulling it up on another screen here. Ripple is now at $50 billion, okay? Before, they were only at basically, we can say a fifth of that, right? So they were at $10 billion since they were at about a quarter. And then because they went from a quarter to multiplied by about 10, right? It reached a market cap of something ridiculous, guys. Like, I have no idea what the market cap it reached was, but let's take a look at it. Aren't you guys curious? The market cap that it reached was $141 billion. It went from a market cap of, like I mentioned, $10 billion to $141 billion. We're talking about a multiplication of what, guys? Right? $10 billion to $140 billion. We're not talking about double times 200%. We're talking about like 1,400% that it did, basically, okay? That's how ridiculous it was. If you bought it at a quarter there, if you bought it at a quarter and you sold it at $22.50, you would have made a ridiculous amount, 10 times your money, right? So you guys cannot be surprised at the bull market that has shown. So, for example, Ripple has gone up that much. You guys have to look at a coin like EOS and IOTA as well. We're talking about a coin in early November when it was in right here, guys, is when I made those signals for people to be interested, right? When it was like under 50 cents. Or sorry, this is EOS. Never mind, I'll talk about IOTA later. But we're talking about a coin when you know, it was 50 cents in October, November, that went up to over $18, guys. So now everyone is panicking in the market after it's gone up, you know, that much from 50 cents to $17, $18, guys, right? So do you guys really have a right to panic considering it's gone up that much? And when you factor in the market cycles of things going up and it must rest, and also Elliott Wave corrective patterns, honestly, it doesn't surprise me, guys, right? The only time it surprises me is when you know, the only thing I'm cautious of is of course the whole tether issue, right, with bitfinex, and when bitfinex is unreliable, those times it's a different topic. But other than that, we gotta come to expect these, guys. A lot of people get liquidated during times like this because they're longing and they're trying to catch the bottom, when in fact these massive corrections need to be made. And for example, on like December 22nd there, when Bitcoin fell an absurd amount, and on September 15 as well, when Bitcoin fell to 2,970 or 2,980 from 59.70, everyone got liquidated, guys. So I'm personally not surprised, and during these times, I just stay out of the market. I stay out of the market because I'm uncertain of what Bitcoin is doing right now. And look at IOTA, guys. This is what I was signaling to people to buy it at 30 cents for IOTA and just hold it as long as you possibly can. 30 cents. You couldn't have gone wrong with it. And we've gone up from 30 cents all the way to an all-time high of $5.80, guys. So I'm sorry to say, but stop your whining. Stop your whining and understand, guys, that this right here is a normal part of a market cycle correction. For progression to be made, okay, for progression to be made, this is what happens, guys. It makes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then this does an ABC. A, B, C. Well, guess what, guys? This makes wave 1 of the primaries one. This makes waves 2. This, and then there's a wave 3, and then the 4, and there's still a 5. And it goes like that. Okay? It goes like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5, right? And then when all of these are formed, guess what? Right? So now we're right here. People are not seeing the big picture. We're seeing right here only right now, and we're doing this correction. Right there. Okay? We're doing this correction. And then after this part is formed, guess what? We start wave 3 right here. Right? And people are going to be like, whoa, it's just going to go up. And then there's still going to be corrections within corrections as well. Like right here, this corrects to that distance, this corrects to this distance, but this corrects the entire distance. And then now we're going to get a massive correction for this one as well. Okay? We're going to get a massive correction for wave 3, like that. And then you know how we had all of wave 1 correct for ABC? Guess what? This big wave 5 is going to do some sort of ABC as well. Now the big question is, how high can this bubble go? And then this is going to go a massive correction like that. Okay? And then all of this, guys, guess what this is going to do? This is going to make one big subwave. This will make a second big one, and we'll make an even bigger one, and a bigger one. And these are the theories of the market cycle and the progression of it and how they go. And then after that, guys, we won't even be able to see these small details in there anymore because we'll all be looking at the big picture. And then after that, this makes a huge ABC correction of the entire thing. So can you guys imagine the people that are panicking right now in here? In this ABC correction, when you get the broad picture of how corrections happen, and right now we're making a big correction, but the big is relative to where we are in the market cycle. But guys, can you imagine how people are going to feel when we do the whole wave 1 correction here? Right? Can you imagine how people are going to feel when we do a massive correction like this over here? These corrections only get bigger and bigger, guys, because it's percentage based, right? These are all percentage based on Fibonacci levels. So that is where we stand. We even look at IOTA, okay, guys? IOTA is in limbo as well. It's making this kind of pattern. No coin right now, other than NEO, who just finished because they were lagging behind. Sometimes coins lag behind. Not all coins are in the exact same process of the market cycle, right? See, notice right now, NEO has just made its hurrah. It just finished its run up there right now, right? You guys see it. It just made its run up and it fell all the way to $1.1950. And I just made a video on it yesterday where I was more so confident that my theory was right and that we were actually at the end of it already, and it seems to be holding true. So NEO just finished its wave up, okay? NEO is actually right here in the market cycle. So some coins are behind, right? So Bitcoin is up here. NEO is actually just about to start this correction right there for 4. Just about to start it. And it hasn't even started the 5th wave impulse yet, like that. So interesting, right, guys? So here, for example, you know, we're just going to loosely count it here. Very loosely. Just like that. Something like that. All together. Yeah, something like that. Or even something like this. It really varies how you count it. But now let's take a look at another popular coin as well that's traded heavy, like Go. We'll just go to bitfinex, USD. Where is it? USD. If you look at these guys right now, they're also in a consolidating mode. It just hasn't really reached the same progression that Bitcoin has yet, right? This one is still figuring it out right now, where it wants to do an A, B, C, D, E. But what's really important to understand, guys, is this right here, okay? What's super important to understand, like every other coin, is this, is that all the way to about the beginning of December, right? Or late November, especially, early December, that is when breakouts started to happen. And we spent pretty much the majority, or a good time, of Q4 2017 consolidating for all coins across the board, if you guys remember. Like here's, for example, when this is between September and about second, third week of November there. So we spent it consolidating. We look at a coin like Litecoin as well, okay? Let's take a look at Litecoin, and you guys will also understand what I'm talking about. So look at right here, okay? This is from about September to about early to middle of November. Litecoin consolidated and then broke out. Now let's look at IOTA as well. And do you guys think IOTA will be any different? No, we spent the consolidation period between, this one was about late August, right? To this one was about early to middle of November. So, right? So let's look at Ethereum. Is any of the top cryptocurrencies in general impervious to market cycle corrections? No. Look, what do you guys think Ethereum did? Because Ethereum had its massive run up, right? Where I sold mine around 350 in June, July-ish. Of course, it's going to correct for a really, really long time, and that had its run up. But guess when the correction lasted till, guys? Just take a wild guess. See, this is the date right there. About early to middle of November, right? You guys want to see Ripple? Check out Ripple right around that time as well, okay? Here's Bitfinex. That's when I was doing my TA on it. And I suggested it for people to buy at 25 cents, if you guys remember. So I drew mine like this in here in my TA. Hold on, I'm just pulling something up. Here you go, guys. If you guys don't believe me, I keep a track of all of my TA. Here's my Ripple long-term forecast right there, guys. I was predicting at least 38 cents just for the first subwave. I didn't predict it far. But yeah, I predicted for people to start buying at 20 cents, guys. So this right here, right? This right here is also the same thing, where it's consolidating. It started breaking out to about up there. I think that was the announcement with Amex. Oh no, this could have been the Swell conference, and this started the announcements with Amex. But if you guys take a look at it, where was the breakout really above the 55 EMA? Pretty much right there, right? We could draw this way higher up, call those some bull breaks. But the majority of it, of the breakout, is when? Of the 55 EMA. Look at the date right there, November. If you guys look at every single coin, guys, every single coin, they follow each other in terms of where the heck they are. You guys want to see EOS? Here's EOS as well. 55 EMA range right there, okay? 55 EMA range. Guess where it broke out? Just take a wild guess. November, okay? And then, what do you guys think happened, right? Well, every coin did something like this. From November to, this one did in 73 days, in 2 months. It decided to do 2,558%. What did IOTA decide to do? IOTA decided to do IOTA in 41 days instead of 60, 70 like EOS. In 41 days, IOTA decided to do 1,406%, right? You know, Ripple decided to do what? We're just taking a look at very high market cap coins right now. I know, guys, I should probably save this to my bookmark. I promise I'll get it done by next time there, so I don't have to search for it like this all the time with you guys, which I can't even find, and is so frustrating. Okay, thanks for bearing with me, guys. So these guys, Ripple, decided to do, when I say decide to do, I'm talking about the coin doing. In 30 days, guys, in 30 days, Ripple decided to do 1,478%, okay? And it actually went against Bitcoin. It didn't even care about what Bitcoin was doing, guys. It ran on a tear despite Bitcoin correcting. So, guys, we do not have any right at all to complain. You guys can be worried and cautious, but you guys need to understand the gains that have been made first. Do you guys think that you know, everything moves completely upwards and parabolically up? No, it doesn't do that, guys. Come on, get real. Nothing moves upwards forever. Everything that moves upwards in the market must come down eventually to make a corrective pattern for progression. They call this consolidation or a corrective wave, okay? Corrective mode, whatever you want to call it. Consolidation, corrective, you know, it's all around there. There are impulse motive waves up, and there are corrective waves. Those are the only two types of waves that there are. One that goes up or one that corrects. And even a sideways pattern, okay? Sideways is still part of a correction mode, and those can also be Elliott Wave analyzed as well. So right now, as it stands, guys, right? Since it lasted till about late December, early January. That is when all these coins started to get into this consolidation mode, right? Right around here. Not late December, middle of December about. So this one was about December 16, and that's why I keep saying December 22nd. I remember this date, December 22nd. I remember this date very well because my Twitter was littered with people getting flash crashed and getting liquidated to the negatives. So yeah. So guys, we need to be extra careful with what we are doing in the market right now. And we need to 100% understand that Bitcoin reached an all-time high of about a little shy of 20K. And then now everything is in correction mode, okay? I've pointed out and I've also showed so many charts, top market cap coins right now. They are in correction mode. Even Ethereum is in correction mode right now. No coin is not in correction mode except for a very small amount that we need to understand that could be lagging behind and can also be independently, fundamentally driven by external factors, right? Such as NEO right now. NEO is obviously one of those ones that obviously is defying the odds right now, and it lagged behind, so it still went on a tear despite a lot of other coins going down. That's why I posted on Twitter a screenshot of just all the tickers, and I wrote, look at NEO looking green and smug because every other coin was in the red, right? So we look at Ethereum right now, and they're just about to start the correction mode as well. Ethereum went on the tear, and sometimes it can have a life on its own, right? But we see here Ethereum starting to correct as well. And every coin, guys, is going to follow Bitcoin to some extent, usually, okay? Even Ethereum in general, we see it heavily downticking and following the tune of Bitcoin to the point where it's about to cross over, most likely. So I want to forewarn everyone right now, strongly, that Bitcoin is still in correction mode, and it is almost impossible to predict what Bitcoin could be doing next, other than getting a very general idea and guideline of where support regions could be. So we've demarcated the support zones for Bitcoin in my previous video, and when those support zones hold, or if they hold, that also means that your altcoins, guys, your altcoins, if those support coins hold, and we actually bounce back from those levels, right? Because Bitcoin is now finally going to make its way upwards and still doing a correction pattern. Don't get me wrong, guys. Don't get me wrong that Bitcoin is still in a massive correction right now. But it doesn't change the fact that there are lots of key levels of resistances, and we can get very short-term trends. So let's say that this held true right here, okay? Well, what pattern do you guys see in here? You guys see a descending triangle, okay? You see a descending triangle, but it doesn't mean there's not going to be an uptrend, slightly. What if we got something like that, right? What if we got something like that, just as an example? Notice how crazy, like, this point from the top there, like to right here, their slopes just so beautifully, almost equal to C right there. So we can also assume that, hey, these might be sloped very similarly as well, if it held true. Well, because Bitcoin might have reached the bottom here, guys, it's, you got to keep in mind that if we do find solid support, and you guys know what solid support is? Solid support is lots of wicks on a downtrend, poking down but being rejected. Like right now, actually, we're seeing a lot of wicks rejected, so we might have found temporary support. So let's say that we've now confirmed on an uptrend. Let's say on a 2-hour chart. Let's say on a 1-hour chart, okay? When we see it starting to positively tip to the positive side on the histogram, let's say this rounds off. Okay, let's say this rounds off like that, and it finally positively ticks, and the histogram is now up there somewhere. Well, that might be a small sign that Bitcoin could be rallying to the point D over here, right? So if Bitcoin went from 11.5K to say even 15K, well, imagine what that's going to do for your altcoins as well. Obviously, it's going to get tremendous rise to it. I'm going to give you guys an example. Just an example of, one of my positions right now, I guess, like the most prominent one that comes. I just like ETP. Like the fundamentals behind it, okay? Like, just to give you an example of one of my plays right now that I have, that I'm holding bags of, and I don't mind holding for a very long term, like super long term, right? Like, we're reaching a critical zone right now. So I ask myself, hey, if Bitcoin holds right now, and I'm reaching a critical support zone for my coin, it's Metaverse, that I'm holding bags of, well, could I buy from right there? Set a stop loss like around, heck, even $2. That's a pretty big amount that I could lose, right? Maybe not $2, maybe 210, lose 17%. And then could I ride it to $5 or $6 if it tries to make an attempt there again, because that'll make a descending triangle, or sorry, an ascending triangle. So this is why I'm also paying attention to Bitcoin, guys. If Bitcoin spikes up like that, heck, I might even get a chance to not break out of it, but to hit this trend line right here. And even so, that's still a really big gain. That's still up to a 30, 40, 50, 60% gain there, right? So just to give you an idea of how altcoins could affect the market, right? So I pay attention to Bitcoin very, very religiously. Sorry to bring religion to this, but I'm just using it as an example because, guys, the moment that I find support on Bitcoin is going to be the moment that all of our altcoins are going to start rallying as well. Maybe not all coins, but the majority of coins that sings to the tune of Bitcoin. IOTA especially. The two coins right now that I will prominently note that because I'm a bitfinex trader, I will talk about the very oversold coins right now on Bitfinex. The ones that are really oversold is IOTA. We're reaching 20 RSI on the 4-hour time frame, guys. That is unheard of. The only time that's happened was, it's been rare. Is like over here maybe, right? But it's been a long time. Look how oversold that is right now. Super duper oversold. Do you guys know what this could mean? Look at the 3-hour chart. We're getting a higher high finally, right? So can you guys imagine if Bitcoin levels off right now and it actually starts to go up, what this could mean for all of your altcoins, okay? Even IOTA in the worst case scenario, we keep holding true to this shape, to this pattern right here, you guys could still be possibly gaining 25 to 30%, right? Those are still some, I don't know about you guys, but those are still big gains to me, right? Because if I'm swing trading 10, 20, $15,000 positions, you guys are still getting a chance to make thousands a week, We're talking thousands a week from finding that one play, guys. All that matters is that we try to look for the best possible risk to reward setups that can yield the highest possible gains with the least amount of risk, right? We want to make sure that we maximize our top line profits while minimizing our bottom line expenses and losses as well, right? So we want to do all of these things. So can we ask ourselves, could this be a possible time to start getting much more interested in altcoins? Because Bitcoin right now is on a tear. And another question is, how much further can Bitcoin go down before, and how much further will Bitcoin go down? How much more rest does it need before it can attempt to finally go up? So these are some of the questions we need to ask ourselves, right? So timing is really key. One big factor, guys, I wanted to bring up is that Bitcoin is about to fall below right now the 55 moving average. In fact, it might even hit the 100 moving average. Let's see. Oh, it's about to touch the 100 moving average even. It hasn't touched it since November, guys. Since November. But on the 55 moving average, we haven't gone below that since the bear market in September, guys. And in the bear market, when it went below that, like, no, sorry, this is IOTA. Bitcoin's doing the exact same thing though, so don't worry about that. So Bitcoin hasn't gone under the 55 EMA since September, but it bounced right back up. And in November it tried, and it bounced back up. But here, we've actually successfully come down. Not only have we come down, but we're going to successfully close below it today. Okay? The Bitcoin, we're not going to close below it. We're going to get down below it in 5 hours, and then we're going to have, in total, we're going to have 5 hours plus 24, so 29 hours to get back up to above 13,300. Is it possible for Bitcoin to go from now 11.3k to 13.3k in one day to successfully close above the 55 EMA? And the answer is no, it is not possible. Do you guys really? Yes, it's possible for it to come down this much, but I don't think it's possible for it to go up that much, guys. There's just no bullish signs right now of major support yet, other than some wicks that are poking down here right now, okay? And volume is definitely picking up right now. So I'm just going to be waiting, guys. I'm going to be waiting for more volume to pick up. And I'm no financial advisor, but what I would advise for, in general, to even myself, is that volume, we want to make sure we note the volume. Let this volume pick up, guys. And we're seeing volume incredibly pick up right now. So this could very, very well be the bottom, right? And let's say you're not margin trading, whatever, right? Like myself, guys, I'm accumulating ETP and Ripple and IOTA. And if Bitcoin falls, guys, if Bitcoin honestly falls to 8 to 9 to 10K, I'm going to cut my losses so freaking fast, first of all. That's one thing, okay? I'm going to cut my losses so freaking fast, and I'm just going to buy more when it falls down to a respectable region. And another thing that it could happen is it can only fall down a little bit, right? If it only falls down a little bit and it doesn't meet my stop loss, then I might even be tempted to add more and double up or triple up on my position, because then I'll be asking, well, if Bitcoin didn't have this much conviction to go down, right? If it didn't have that much force to go down and it's only resting a little bit, well, could this be support? If it is support, then maybe it's every other altcoin is also going to skyrocket with it right now as well. So you guys can always be managing your risk by adding more to your position. Believe it or not, adding more to your position will manage your risk, okay? And the reason why, so for example, I'm going to show you an example. On Bitcoin, some people probably thought right here was the bottom, right? Who knows? Just hypothetically, some people thought that this was the bottom. I'm just trying to look for my tool here. Long position. Let's say that some people thought that this was the bottom, okay? Well, if this wasn't the bottom and you were just going to target here anyways, and you're going to set a stop loss slightly lower than here, your risk to reward ratio is now 1.63, right? Is now 1.63. Well, if you added more to your position, so you got a choice. If you hit your stop loss, do you guys cut your position and just, get out of the position? Or do you actually make your stop loss down here now? Then you're like, ah, crap, I'm already down. I'm going to make a second stop loss, you know, right there. So now your base price is really high, right? And now your stop loss is low. So your risk to reward is ridiculously bad. It's now 0.58 from over, you know, 1.2, 1.3. So this is obviously a really risky play for you to be making, right? You got to, if your target was way up there, that's horrible, right? That's horrible, right? If your target was up there to break even. Now, if you decide to set your target a little bit lower, right? Lower, just to basically break even for a 2% gain, right? And now you say, okay, my stop loss is going to be here now. Well, your risk is horrible. You've now put yourself in the riskiest position. And this is why, from a risk perspective, that holding never works, guys. It never, ever works, okay? Because you put yourself from a fairly respectable position from a risk, with risk here. It's at 1.69, right? To target a little bit higher than that. Or not 1.69, we'll say 1.4, which is respectable. Chance to gain 9%, chance to lose 6%. To now having that oh no, I'm just going to hang on and hold, which automatically says that you now have a second stop level, and you will eventually either reach zero or fall to that stop loss level. Sorry, you bought it over here. It was 1.69. Where was it again? Sorry, I'm just trying to get it out. 1.69. Yeah, 1.69. I don't think that's right. Okay, this was a lot lower, I think. Sorry, give me a second. I'm just gonna go all the way back until I see 1.69. There we go, right there, right? So all of a sudden now it goes lower, and you set your profit level is still the same, but now your stop loss is much subconsciously lower to yourself. Most people won't even set a hard stop loss, but they'll eventually reach zero, or they'll take their loss at some point. But either way, it's now not 1.69, and your risk to reward is now 0.5. This is why, guys, it's never worth it to hold, because you put yourself in an even riskier position. An even riskier position to lose more. Because before, guys, if you had your stop loss at 1.69, you only had yourself a chance to lose 6.5%. But now that you decide to hold instead of cut your stop loss, your profit level is still the same, and now you got a chance to lose even more, 20%. You guys really need to understand that hoping and holding doesn't really work, okay? But managing risk is important. But now, let's say you're a person like me who might not sell their position there, right? Who thinks that the bottom is very near, right? Well, myself personally, I would have cut my losses because I wouldn't have even thought for a second this was the bottom based on the descending triangle. But let's say that you were in that position, and let's say all of a sudden you decide to double up on your position. You decide to double up on your position here, okay? Now, you do, in a way, have more risk because you got, in terms of overall, okay, risk is defined by the top, their target price, subtracted by your profit line, divided by your stop loss price, minus your profit line. That is how risk, make sure you guys watch my risk to reward video if you don't understand it, okay? Now let's say that it reached near the bottom here and you doubled up in your position. Well, guess what, guys? Let's say you ended up targeting the same place because you expect this to be the very bottom, right? And you target the same place and you target a stop loss slightly below here. Well, your risk actually increased positively. You're now at a 5.32 risk, right? You have a chance to lose a smaller, like almost the same percentage-wise, but of course for dollar amount, it's much more that you can lose because you decide to double up. But what that does is it actually averages out your base price. Okay, maybe if you averaged it out there, like it would be right around here, we'll say, okay? Right? And now you can target a D position here as well with equivalent or less risk, right? Which makes it a more acceptable price, or makes it a more acceptable setup to take. So this is why you can never play 100% of your money. If you guys have whatever amount in your exchange wallet, your margin wallet, your funding wallet, whatever, you cannot play 100% of it, guys, because you need some cash Okay, you need to make sure that you have some cash in your portfolio to allocate it to something else. And especially an emergency fund as well, right? Where sometimes top-notch risk calculations need to be managed, or then they need to be performed so you can get yourself in a better setup as well. So my only advice for everybody right now that I could give, I'm no financial advisor, but please guys, be extra cautious right now. There are a lot of plays that can be taken right now, and there's a lot of different setups, but a lot of them are low risk, in my opinion. They're low risk if you keep a tight stop loss. I did not say high probability, okay? I didn't say high probability setup. I said low risk setup, okay? Here, because we are reaching a critical zone right now, just as an example, right here, a critical zone, I bet you anything, if we look at the long versus short, there's more people long than short. Let me pull it up. I'll be right back. Okay, I got it here. So here, if you guys take a look, these are, I want to show you guys something cool. This is the hourly chart. But first, let's take a look at here. This is the hourly chart. Okay, and we're going to take a look at it right around midnight, right here. Midnight, we see a big tank on January 16, midnight. Remember this. I bet you anything, if we looked at the short graph, Bitcoin long versus short, what we would see is that the shorts were slowly going up around that time. So what we see for Bitcoin is that there's sideways movement. There's sideways movement kind of all around this general area. Hold on, let me find it. This area right here, right? General sideways movement until right here. That's when the big one happened, okay? This right here, you guys need to make note. Right here, January 16, 1 p.m. or 1 a.m. Also notice here, when did this start, this sideways action? Around 6 in the morning, that's when it started. When did this load up started happening? Is that coincidence, guys, that this is also 6 in the morning, okay? This is also 6 in the morning, right? And it reaches what point, guys? Where they started to unload. Sorry, I'm looking at the wrong one. Right here, okay, 4 o'clock is where it started to load up. Take a look. Right there. So on Bitcoin, it was right around 5 in the morning, 4, 5. Here, it's about 4, 5 in the morning, right? And for the longs, so some people thought that they were going to go long, but people were also loading up on shorts. They were loading up on shorts since January 11, guys. Since well over here, since this date is when people were loading up on short positions. This whole region. Now, if you look on the short list, right here, it reaches a peak right at January 16, 1 p.m. And the amount of people loading up on shorts, it falls. Why do you guys think it falls? Here, people are shorting, right? The shorts are collecting and collecting and collecting, right? And now it falls. And if this falls, we are probably going to assume Bitcoin fell too at that time. And does it fall? Yes, it does. Right here, 1 o'clock it falls. Then we're also going to assume that the short table is also, the long table is also going to fall as well. Bingo. This is the key, guys. This is the key for how we know that it is slowly leveling off right now for Bitcoin as well now, okay? When we factor in other variables, yes, we see it on a tear down, but it is only within the past few hours. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. In the past about 13 hours or so, where yes, it is going down, but we see people not in as many short positions anymore. Makes sense? Now think of this, okay? Why does the short positions decline? Wouldn't people want to keep shorting? Well, if you want to close a short position, what you got to do is you got to buy, right? You got to buy. So what people do during a downtrend, when we see the longs, right? No one, when you are in a market, okay, when you are in a market wallet, we're talking exchange wallet, not a margin wallet. When you sell, right, you're just selling off your shares. So how it affects the BTC USD long graph is that it will go down, right? The longs go down, right? Now, if you are going to be in a margin wallet and you put in a short order as a limit, right? If you put in a short order for a limit, for example, what that will show up in the BTC short, if it gets filled, is that the short goes up, right? The short goes up. Does that make sense, guys? But the reason why the short goes down is because as people are slowly closing their long positions by selling off, people are also simultaneously putting up buy orders, right? They're putting up buy orders to close their short positions as Bitcoin goes down. Therefore, they go proportionally down and they're correlating to each other. Does that make sense, guys? So Bitcoin price gets driven down, but these guys who have been accumulating their short positions, they're putting in buy orders so people will dump onto them, thus in turn also closes their short positions. So now a lot of people have closed their short positions. On a daily chart, guys, there's not that many people who are shorted anymore. Like right now, we're looking at only 12,000 Bitcoins shorted versus 23,000 Bitcoins long. And also Bitcoin long right now is getting oversold, like on the daily, not the daily, 2 hour, 4 hour, 1 hour, right? It is slowly finding strength on the USD long versus USD short tables. So that is one way as well to be looking at it, okay guys? And I wanted to be very clear about that. So we're getting both arguments right now that when Bitcoin levels off, right, every single coin if Bitcoin does go down further, it's going to obviously drag every other coin down a lot as well. And the other argument is it could level off right now in general, where every single altcoin will go up with it. But it doesn't matter what coin we look at, guys. These are the coins I'm mainly interested in. EOS, XRP. Oh, sorry, this one was on NEO. I'm interested in NEO mainly as well right now. I'm interested in IOTA, XRP, Ethereum Classic, EOS as well right now. So I'm keeping and you guys should be doing that as well. You should be following Bitcoin. You should be doing really good TA on it every single time you can, like every few hours on it, just to see where we stand. Because guys, we're talking about an immense profit here, okay? I mean, I'm talking about on ETP alone, like 5-figure profits, right? And when I'm timing my entry right now, guys, I'm timing my entry so well for IOTA and XRP right now, because if they even got back to even near close to region where it was before, I mean, like we're talking about just yesterday, if it can get up to the $3 ranges, or even just like a few days ago, like 330, 340, if even Ripple could get up to the $1.50 ranges, we're talking about up to 5-figure profits, guys. Even if you guys had a small amount, I will say this right now, okay? Even if you were on bitfinex, right, and you only had $3,000 or something, and you played with $2,000 leverage, not that I encourage it, you'd have $6 you can play with, right? Even if Ripple doubled, for example, when we reach a bottom, and if Bitcoin decides to start to tear up, if it run up to even like $2 or something, you guys would be making like $3,000-$4,000, like, you know? So all I'm seeing across the board is not Bitcoin tanking. What I see across the board is opportunity very soon. So when people are scared in the market, you guys got to start getting greedy and start seeing it as opportunity, right? So, and when people are getting very, very greedy in the market, you guys might want to see opportunity as well and start being a little bit scared. So use both things as an opportunity, right? Fear or greed. Right now, it's a combination of, yes, fearful that Bitcoin is going to drag all these other coins with it, but the main fear is not it dragging down my altcoins, but more so missing out on a good opportunity if it does go out. So the debate is this, right? Do we start accumulating now to go long if Bitcoin bounces? Do we start accumulating even more to go short if Bitcoin goes down? Do we wait for Bitcoin to go down, right? Do we wait for Bitcoin to go down and then we buy our other coins then, right? And the other argument as well is if Bitcoin does bounce right now, then I will buy into strength. And I can't think of any other scenarios. And all of them have their pros and their cons. Buying into strength guarantees you don't get the best price, but once you confirm that uptrend, then you can actually, still buy into it. It doesn't guarantee the best profit, but that's fine. Accumulating now, you got to make sure you do your TA really well and stick very tight to your stop loss, right? And then another option is, of course, waiting for it to get down to like the 8.5, 9K regions, right? You have no cards on the table as well. You're not putting any risk on the table because you're not in the market at all, right? And you also get a chance to make a very substantial gain as well from a very low risk, high reward possibility as well. So myself, guys, I'm probably going to do a combination of one of two things. I'm going to set my stop loss tight if I accumulate, right? If I accumulate right now, I'm going to set my stop loss really tight, like all my other coins, I mean. And then on the other hand as well, if it does go down, I'm going to set my stop loss, absolutely. If it breaks it with conviction, I'm done. If it only slightly hovers around there, maybe breaks it by only a tiny bit, I might be very, very convinced to reevaluate my risk, reevaluate my position size, maybe even add more to it. If I feel the bounce is coming. Or I can even shed some of my risk as well. I can sell off some of my coins a little bit, maybe 20% of it, right? Maybe 20% of it, I'll take a tiny loss on that only. Maybe 10, 15%. If it does go down, I can always buy a little bit more, but at least I shed off some of my risk at an acceptable level. If it did go down a lot, then at least I had shed some of my coins at a better price, right? And then I can start shedding it slowly as it goes down more and more if I have to. It just really depends on the circumstance, and there's so many different ways to manage risk. But the most important thing is that you guys consider it. If you guys are just simply going to be saying, I am going to buy at the bottom, and then I am going to ride it. Where the heck is the bottom? Even the best traders in the world, they don't know where the bottom is going to be. But what we try to do is look for signs, right? We try our best to look for signs of it leveling off and see where it could possibly uptrend. So guys, whether it's ETP or like big coins like XRP or EOS or NEO, it doesn't matter, guys. It doesn't matter, or IOTA, what coin it is right now. Every coin is in a correction phase. It's really rare for us to find a coin that's all of a sudden going to break out to these massive new highs when Bitcoin itself is in a consolidation phase or in a downtrend. Unless you're a coin like Ripple, Ripple, they defied everything. 30 days, the top contender, the number one coin of 2018, guys, is Ripple, okay? Or 2017 is Ripple. There's no doubt about it that Ripple has made the hottest name, right? Like in the second half at least. Early half, no doubt it probably went to Ethereum, probably went to Litecoin. Oh man, like so many coins in 2017, right guys, that have just star rocket. Omizi Go is 50 cents, guys. I bought Omizi Go at 50 cents and I sold those guys at $13.50. Like, there's been so many coins. I didn't really play IOTA that well. I sold mine at 70 cents. EOS, I only caught a little bit of it from $1 to $2 maybe. So we missed out on so many chances, right? But what you guys need to make sure is that we understand that we cannot see every opportunity. We can't see every opportunity, but like Warren Buffett said, right? He missed out on Amazon, Google, and Facebook. And they asked him, how did you miss out on that opportunity? And what he said was, you cannot catch up every opportunity as long as you catch some. And I assure you guys that the sum is coming up very soon right now. It's coming up very soon because Bitcoin has been on a tear, guys. And we also have to acknowledge fundamentally, yeah, this is me saying this fundamentally, that guys, cryptocurrency, it's one of those things where naysayers would deny the possibility that cryptocurrency is an evolutionary technology, right? It's kind of like people who can't accept scientific data, like who are saying the earth is round. or there's no hole in the old, or sorry, the earth is flat, or we're the center of the attention, right? The center of the universe. Like, that's just not possible to say. So if we factor in fundamentally that cryptocurrency is obviously a very debatable topic, right? And myself, guys, understand, I'm no expert. I don't have a business degree or an economics degree, okay, guys? I'm just an average Joe sitting in my underwear at home who day trades for a living and does it pretty damn well, I'd say. And I'm not bragging. This is not me bragging, guys. Like, this is, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not gonna change for anybody, and I'm gonna stay true to myself, right? I'm gonna help out the cryptocurrency community. I do this for a living. I sustain myself pretty well, I don't care about nice things in life because this to me is just a game. But I accept the fact that cryptocurrency is evolutionary, guys. It's a technical, logical piece of software and development that is going to change the world over time. Just like how, during the tech boom, right? And there might be a bubble, right? Like everything that is eventually massively adopted over time that can change the way we live and interact with each other, especially on a social level. But in this case, it could be on a financial level as well, right? There's going to be a lot of debate about if it can be plausible and feasible or not. So and even the most successful people in the world, the most successful law firms, or sorry, investment banks in the world, right? They are making claims that it's a bubble. They're making comparisons that it's a tulip as well. But you guys also know what else has been factoring to this major decline? So a really big factor is that, other than it's been going up, really heavily right now, but there's been a lot of other talks as well. Like Ripple was definitely one of the coins that has been doing really well. And just yesterday, Bloomberg, they suggested that China, they're preparing to block domestic internet users from using international Bitcoin exchanges. So they won't be able to use any other exchanges other than the ones in China, right? And just last year, China banned Chinese exchanges and ICOs last year. So they're definitely centralizing China as well. And last week, the central government in China, they tried to drive out China's Bitcoin miners, right? And the majority of miners in the planet, they're in China as well. So, and there's been speculation that Korea plans to regulate crypto market as well. But the government hasn't clarified yet. So of course, guys, like there's so many fundamental factors that are just, from a technical perspective, I see why Bitcoin is correcting. It makes so much sense to me. It wouldn't make sense for us to reach 25K, guys, right? Have you guys even seen me put out a 25K scenario yet? No, the time is so far from now. We're not going to go to 25K anytime soon, not after until correction. And then you think of fundamentally, right? It also times in, for timeline wise, just the USD longs versus shorts as well. It ties in with all the fundamental news going on right now. So I do believe we're in a massive correction phase, and it could last, guys, for another few days to weeks to even a month. But nevertheless, guys, when we see Bitcoin done correcting, we will 100% know, because we will see some big, nice candles and volume that will indicate a downtrend. So you guys got those options, like I mentioned right now. You guys have to make those options, please. You decide. Do you want to accumulate now and bet on one way or the other? Do you want to buy into strength? Do you want to wait till it goes down? So every single trader or investor plays differently. That suits their personality, right? So you guys got to decide what risk is acceptable to you and what is not acceptable to you. Like personally, to me, I don't mind accumulating because I'm not playing this in my exchange balance, guys. This is all, or sorry, my margin wallet. There's no way I'm going to swing trade or hold longer term in my margin. I don't want to pay for the fee, even if it's a little bit, doesn't matter. Not only that, I don't want any freak accidents to happen. Just who knows? Maybe I didn't keep enough in my margin account there, right? And I got liquidated or something like that. And I like to keep everything just personally in my exchange wallet, not everything in my margin, right? And for swing, there's no need to margin as well, right? So I don't mind buying a little bit and just holding because I believe in it fundamentally now. Yeah, this is me saying this fundamentally. I believe in it going up in the future as well. I don't mind adding more on dips. I believe in the crypto market in general and that it's going to go up and not go down and we face all of a sudden this bear market for months and then crypto vanishes from the face of the planet. I don't believe that's going to happen, guys. I believe that cryptocurrency is going to be the hottest market in 2018. I believe that November, December, like till November, we were in a corrective phase, right? And then November till about December, we were in a massive uptrend till the middle of December even. And then from the middle of December till maybe even till now, to the end of January, we can be in a corrective phase before we break out. These phases happen all the time in a typical market, guys. They go up and they go down, they go up and they go down. And the people that don't understand that it can go down and they're still betting on it to go up right now, they are the ones panicking the most. But you guys stay chill, you stay calm, right? You guys think I'm panicking? No, I'm not panicking. I am a little bit fearful, but that fear, once again, is not because I'm scared of it bringing down my coins. I'm scared because of the FOMO, and this is a very natural human reaction. I am 100% scared of the FOMO of missing out on a coin, okay, if it does go up. And I'm also scared that if it does go up, I accumulate enough already right now. Everybody has a natural desire to be greedy, and we all want the absolute best price. So the fear comes from a greed perspective as well, not from a losing money perspective, because myself, guys, I'm going to be holding bags of these for a fairly longer term, and I don't care about plus or minus 5 to 10% swings. Now, if you are a day trader, those swings will probably kill you, right? So there's no right way to invest, there's no wrong way to invest as well, as long as you acknowledge that there are many different ways to invest. And the most important thing you need to acknowledge is the fact that Bitcoin had a massive run up to almost $20,000, and now we need to correct, guys. We need to correct, we need to rest, we need to take a break before the market can progress much, much further. So those that are taking the risk and betting one way or the other right now, I'm really sorry to say, but that right now, if you're doing it on a margin account, that's a horrible thing to do. If you're only betting one way and you have no backup plan to manage your risk for if it goes down, please, guys, just do yourself a favor and be cautious. Myself, yes, I'm accumulating a little now for some small coins, nothing big yet, because I'd rather just... I'm an anxious person, right? It's like, I want to know, I want to get into the future right now. Not anxious, but like for the market. And I also want to make, and it's like a game to me, okay? It's like a game to me, and I want to have some coins to feel like I'm in the game. Do you guys know what I mean? Because then there's excitement, there's anticipation, right? And there's just so much excitement that you just want to know if it's going to go up or down. But if you're not in a position, it's not fun. If you guys are paper trading without money, it's not nearly as exciting and fun as trading with real money, right? So guys, everything I'm saying, please be extra cautious right now about this, okay? Just please make sure you guys have some way to manage your risk if it does go down, because it is very likely that we are going to go down based on my bear scenarios. Therefore, please be cautious. For the 19th time, please be cautious, everybody. That is my market generals. That's my overview in general of just kind of the coins that I trade and where we stand right now in the market, and just some of the possible plays to look out for, some of the things that we can hope to expect as well in the future as well, and just how the natural market cycle is progressed. If you guys enjoy these videos, I'd really appreciate a quick vote there on Steemit and upvote. And if you guys especially love these videos that I do, you're welcome to like, subscribe, and share on Twitter, Steemit, and on YouTube as well. And I also have a cryptocurrency piggy bank for my dog. You're welcome to buy me a beer or something, or buy Luna and I a beer, and we're gonna go out and get a little bit screwed up together. Yeah, beers! Luna! Luna, where are you? Let's go grab a beer! I gotta go get a beer with my dog Luna, guys. Take it easy, eh?